I feel like this is kind of over, but we can still talk about it because I didn't really talk about it publicly anywhere. And again, I feel like there's like more. Well, we'll just get started. Bro, I was like, shut up. Me on my own podcast. Can you just shut the fuck up? Okay, if you guys are on TikTok or maybe Twitter even, because it did make its way to Twitter and that's where I first saw it. Did you hear about the West Elm Caleb thing? And honestly, I hesitate even talking about this now because again, it is already over, and then I'm like, is calling more attention to this or him like harmful? But we're just going to talk about it anyway. And again, this is not in like a tea way, but it's more so like, Okay, so recap from what I understand. I think what happened is this girl made a TikTok talking about how this guy from Hinge in New York, this guy named Caleb, ghosted her. And it kind of popped off, and then a few, I don't know how many, but a few other girls then also made TikToks describing their experience with him and how I think he was like sending them all the same playlist, and like he just was kind of using the same lines with each girl. And I think he also had ghosted multiple girls. Also, there was tea, and I never saw the video of this. I never saw the original, but people were saying that he was sending unconsensual D pics to some of them. So it really blew up, and like so many people were talking about it. It was like trending. I think it was trending, like West Elm was trending on Twitter, and I think he was a designer for West Elm or something. Like he worked with or at West Elm in some way, so that's why it's like West Elm Caleb. So I was seeing very like mixed opinions about this. Some people were saying, why is everyone freaking out about this guy just casually dating? And then there was like a TikTok I saw of this girl saying like, oh, I'm all for this. Like, yeah, we need a mass Google Doc. I think she was in New York too. Like, oh, we need like a New York Google Doc of just all the guys so we can like keep tabs on them, and like we can all share our experiences so we know what to expect and whatnot. So I honestly, when I saw all of this, I expected there to be more harmful things that he was doing. And it's not like I'm like on his side, but just like to the extent in which it blew up, and like people were doxing him, people were trying to get him fired, like, and it's like, I mean, if it had been a situation of like, oh, he had SA'd these girls, or like, you know, just been a little more, and I haven't seen every video of every girl that like had experience with him, so maybe some of them do feel very manipulated or abused even, but from what I had seen, it just didn't really seem like it was a case of, oh, he's like abusive, you need to watch out for him, like he is no good. It was just kind of like, oh my god, he was with this other girl and then he had gone on a first date with me later that day. And it's like, I mean, maybe that would be tea in your friend group chat, but to make a public TikTok, including his face, pictures of him, your private conversations, and I mean, I'm sure the girl didn't expect it to blow up that much, but still, like, it's like, is it that really, like, just, I don't know, it just kind of seemed like she felt, or they felt bad that they got ghosted. Like, I did see, I think, the original video. It just seemed like she felt bad that she got ghosted, so she wanted to, like, expose him. And it's like, again, she probably didn't know it was going to blow up that much, but it just seemed like it was taken too far for the circumstance. Again, if it had been, like, in my opinion, if it had been, like, an essay, you know, verbal, physical abuse, even just, like, red flags or, like, oh, I got a bad vibe, like, I don't know, but it just seemed like kind of petty. And I did not see the video of the girl talking about like unconsensual nudes or anything. So, I mean, but is that like worth trying to get someone fired? And again, it is the internet. A lot of them probably didn't know it was going to blow up that much. So they're just sharing this stuff, and then like other people are the ones trying to like, oh, get him fired, get him doxxed, to like expose him, ruin his dating life forever. And I think there's kind of like a difference between exposing someone just because like you feel personally attacked or something, and then like sharing your story, like coming forward with your story to protect other women. Like, what do you guys think? And then I saw this one TikTok of this girl who kind of had that same standpoint and was saying like, okay, one of the points she had was, it's not like he's a CEO or like has a lot of power over anyone, so like what's the point in trying to get him fired for this? Or like, I don't know, it's not like he works in the government, or like, I don't know, is very famous or something, and it's like, I don't know, like, oh, the truth about this guy, like, it's just like he's literally a random, like he's literally just a random on Hinge, and like now he has millions of people, like, I mean, I'm sure millions, like exposing him, like out to get him, like trying to expose him, trying to get him fired, like, I don't know. And just like, I think when you're casually dating, you just can't take a lot of shit personal. Like the unconsensual nudes and stuff, that's kind of a different story and kind of like adds more to the picture of what type of guy he is. Like, ew. But just in the sense of like, oh, like the girl just seems so like horrified by the fact that he was like woke up at this other girl's house and then went on a date with her later that day. It's like, that's not your boyfriend. Like, I think that was his first date or something, like their first date. So you can't like be offended by that. Like, you can't take that personal. That's part of the game. Like, you're not committed to each other. You don't even know each other yet, so he can do whatever he wants. And that was interesting too, because at the beginning of her video, she said something like just about the amount of guys she's talking to or something, like, oh, well, like, I wish I could remember the exact quote, but then that paired with that, I was like, bro, like, again, that's like something, it's kind of tea. Like, if you are talking to this guy and you find out, oh, he was at this other girl's house earlier, like, maybe you can text that to your friend or like put it in the group chat, like, oh my god, can you guys believe this? Like, ew. But like, that's not worth exposing someone to the public over, like, because it's not that big of a deal, honestly, in my opinion. Like, you're casually dating, like, that's not your boyfriend. You haven't been like talking for weeks and weeks. Like, it was the first hangout session. Like, you had just been texting on Hinge before. Like, I don't know. It's just like, I would never expose someone like that. Like, I think for that, again, it's different if it had been an essay, if it had been like actually something. But then on the other hand, I do think there is something to be said about women sharing experiences about guys, just so that we all like, know the vibes of certain dudes. And I think like it has been said before, like, I wish there was an app where you could just look guys up and like see, what the vibe is. But there's a difference, I feel like, of that and then like personally attacking someone publicly, like, just because, I don't know, you got your feelings hurt. Like, I mean, am I missing something? I don't know, like, not that I'm on his side. Like, the texts were so cringy because everyone was like including screenshots of their messages with him. He seemed so cringy and like, honestly, no offense, like, gross, but like, that's just like dating apps. I don't know, like, what do you guys think? Like, I just think it got taken too far. And like, just the fact that it was trending, and I just expected there to be more of like a story and like more shit that happened, but it was just like, he was love bombing us and then ghosted me, and then like, whoa, it actually was on a date with another girl. Meanwhile, you're all on Hinge, like, not committed. None of you are committed to this man. Like, I just feel like it didn't have to be so public. Like, you could have taken it to the group chat, babe. Like, so what do you guys think? And do you get offended? I mean, like, if you're just dating and you find out someone's talking to other people, like, I think it's valid to feel jealous or like feel however you feel in response to that. But then it's like, okay, feel that, and then you have to tell yourself, like, we're not committed to each other. Like, we haven't had that talk. We're not at that stage. We're still getting to know each other. I'm still allowed to talk to other people. Like, they are too. And if that is really bothering me, like, maybe have that talk. Like, I want to be official. I want to be committed, whatever. But, like, babe, it's just, like, casual dating. Like, it's not worth exposing someone over. I don't know. It just seemed, like, really blown out of proportion and just, like, from all the information I have, it just seemed kind of immature, like, the whole thing. It's like, bro, is this really worth it? Like, okay, a guy is, like, cringy and, like, ghosts you. Is that worth, like, ruining his life? Or do you just, like, chalk it up to the game?